Welcome to section 3 of the course, which is SAS macros, functions and programs. In this section, what we will be learning is first, the introduction about macros, what macros are. Then, we will understand the automatic and user-defined macro variables. Then, we will look into understanding the use of macro functions for manipulating strings, performing arithmetic and logical operations. Then we will look into how to create data-driven macro programs for conditional processing, parameter validation, and iterative processing. At the end, we will understand how to create macro variables in DataStep and in SQL and interface macros with SQL. So first, let's begin with introduction about macros. If you have a program which you need to run again and again, writing such a program every time is very time-consuming and it is inefficient. Thus, SAS has macros which can actually be used in our program to reduce the time spent on writing the same code repeatedly, and you can save a lot of time. The purpose of the SAS macro language is to generate text. It can be any valid SAS code, statements, variables, text strings, or anything which is used in SAS programs. Macros are used in SAS for the following reasons. First, if suppose you make changes in any one location of your program, they are passed or carried throughout your program. That's a very big advantage why macros are used in SAS. The second reason is the programs are data-driven, thus enabling SAS to decide what to do based on actual data values. There can be any number of macros in a SAS program and it can be invoked any number of times in a single program. Now, how do we define macros? Each macro that is defined should have a distinct name and it should not be any keyword or call routine name which are already present in SAS. So it should be a unique name and it should not be any keyword which is already being present in SAS. A macro definition is placed between two statements which are %macro statement and a %mend statement. So as you can see in this example here, %macro, then macro name, and to end this macro we use %mend and the same macro name is specified for the %mend statement. The macro name specified in the %mend statement and in the %macro statement must match exactly with each other to specify that this is one macro. It is not mandatory to specify the macro name in the %mend statement, but it is recommended so that each pair of macro and mend could easily be identified. So if we have more than 2 or 3 macros in one program, it is recommended that we use the macro name with %mend statement to identify and see if this %mend or this macro belongs to which particular macro. A string inside a macro is called constant text or model text because it is the model or pattern for the text that becomes part of your SAS program. And if you need to call or invoke a macro, the name of the macro is preceded with the %sign, which is shown here like %macro name. This is how we call or invoke a macro. We will see the examples of these macro and how to use macro statements further down in different sections where we will be using the macro functions or to call and how to build macro programs.